It's that time of the year again. Your big, fat, juicy credit card annual fee has shown up, but you don't want to pay. What if I told you that the bank might actually pay you to keep your credit card open? Hi, my name is Sean. I'm the UC Berkeley graduate that created and taught the university sponsored course on credit card rewards. I'm here with my co host, Sherwin.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherwin, a Stanford student who's really into the credit card points, miles, travel hobby. First got into this game about 2 years ago. Since then, I've accumulated a ton of points and gone on a lot of cool trips. Here to share with you some of the tips and tricks I've learned along the way. So today's topic is the ultimate guide to retention offers. You may not know this, but it actually costs a bank a lot more money to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one. So if you have doubts about whether to renew a credit card once the annual fee comes up, they actually have an incentive for you to renew your card. And because of this fact, you have more leverage than you think. So you can do what we call asking for a retention offer. So Sean, what is a retention offer?
So, retention offer is usually it's done when your annual fee posts to your credit card. So, you either call up the bank or send in a message to them saying, hey, look, this card's becoming a little hard for me to justify with this annual fee. I'm having trouble using XYZ benefits. I've been considering canceling the card. Don't say canceling. I've been considering canceling. However, would it be possible to check if there's a retention offer available on my account? This would help me greatly justify keeping the card open. So the idea is they will check and they would either throw some points at your way for doing some spending, maybe a statement credit off the annual fee, something like that. And then for you as the consumer, now this card that let's say had a $700 annual fee, they throw you $300 worth of points or a few $100 statement credit. And then when you take that incentive and discount it off the fee, now the card becomes justifiable for you to keep open this next year.
Yes, I'd say it's sort of like a negotiation, but not really. So first things to know is that there's completely no shame in asking. This is very common. The banks expect people to ask for retention offers, and the representatives are expected to give one if there's available. Also note that what the representative can give you is based on like what's showing up on your screen. It's usually pre-programmed or some kind of algorithm that determines perhaps how profitable you are, how much the bank is willing to spend to keep you, and they can either offer that to you or not. And that's the only thing they can offer to you. They can't make up a different retention offer. So know that it's not specifically about the person you're talking to. You're just going to what the computer can offer you through that person. So think about it that way. I think it's a little less intimidating. And literally just tell them, I'm considering canceling card. Do you have any retention offers available? You can say the word retention offer. No need to beat around the bush. This is a very common standard procedure. Another recommendation I'd have is if you can get it through a chat instead of a phone call. I find that easier. American Express does retention offers through chat. I've had success with that. Sean, do you have any experience with Amex chat? I think it's a pretty good, easy way.
It's very easy. Yeah, I don't like calling in, especially it's just more awkward trying to like tell them like you're just trying to extract this retention offer out of them, and then you have to call in and like they're like, no, please don't. Like I just don't want to deal with that. So the chat's easy. My first ever attempt was a success on it. I got offered like 40K points for keeping a platinum card open. Haven't had as much luck in recent times, but I have my Schwab Platinum annual fee coming up very soon, so I'm gonna try my luck on that.
Yes. Now keep in mind that when you ask for a retention offer, oftentimes they're not just going to give it to you automatically, right? They have an incentive to see if they can try to get you to keep the card without taking any offer. So if they try to convince you to keep the card, they're probably going to, say, oh, you extracted this much value out of the credits last year. Oh, did you know there were these cool benefits about the card? And, as experts, we already know them, so it's kind of irrelevant. But humor the representative, listen to what they have to say, but be prepared to come up with reasons why the card no longer makes sense to push back to get to the next stage of the conversation where they offer you something if it's available. Before going to the call or the chat, come up with a few reasons why it doesn't make sense. Maybe this credit is too hard to use. Maybe these points have been devalued. Maybe this benefit is not available where you live, whatever, right? Like come up with some reason, whether they're real reasons or not, whether they actually affect you, it doesn't matter. Like come up with reasons and be prepared to use those to bypass that stage where they're trying to get you to accept without giving you anything.
Definitely. And I always, especially when there's like new changes on a card, sometimes I'll reference those because they may have like a higher, I don't know, but like I just usually say that in case there's like a higher budget of something, like when they changed the platinum card and a lot of people got really, really mad. So I said that, and that ended up working for me. Probably still automatic, but just it's pretty easy to come up with reasons. I have heard for Amex specifically, they will do something like it's like a half retention. It's not even a retention offer. It's like a fake retention offer where they'll say, okay, totally understand the annual fee is too much for you. So what we'll do for you is, let's say, you know, it's a platinum card, $6.95 annual fee. Normally, if you redeem your points toward like a cash equivalent, if you don't have a Schwab Platinum, it's 0.6 cents per point toward a statement credit. But if you use the points to pay for the annual fee, we'll make it 1 cent per point. And so that way you can use your points to pay for the annual fee. That's a fake retention offer. Don't take that. That sucks. So like usually if they offer you something like that, try to ask for a real retention offer. Again, is pre-programmed into the computer. I have heard that like they may have a few different options that they could give you potentially. Usually it's not like just one, but they may have like two. Again, totally dependent. So like don't get mad at your rep if they're not giving you anything. Usually if they don't have anything available on your account, they'll just straight up tell you like, I don't have anything I can give you. I wish I could, I just can't. So keep that in mind. It's not like the random rep just being really stingy. They don't really care probably that much if they give you a retention offer or not. They'll try to convince you, but if they have, you know, one on your account, they'll probably tell you eventually if you keep pushing back.
Yes, and even once they give you an offer, you can still, there's no risk of saying, oh, that sounds interesting. I was wondering if you have any other offers available. You know, most of the time, no, but sometimes there might be. Like, you can say, oh, do you have something for more points with perhaps higher spend? And then if they give you another offer, you can weigh the options. Sometimes there's a statement credit versus a points option. Sometimes there's a low spend option versus a high spend option. So it doesn't hurt to ask. Most likely there's not multiple options, but I have seen data points of it happening. Also, super helpful to just go online, do a quick Google search on the forums to see what other retention offers people have gotten for the same card, so you have some kind of expectation. Of course, the algorithms are tailored to each individual person, so just because someone else got a retention offer doesn't mean you'll get the same offer or an offer at all, but it's, you know, useful to reference for sure.
Yeah, and I think this thing a lot of people don't mention is consider the card you're asking for the retention on. So when I had my Hilton Aspire annual fees showing up and I asked for retentions, I didn't get them, but I didn't expect them anyways, because first of all, I knew I was getting value out of the card, but even if, you know, I came up with some reasons why it was difficult to use, Amex knew how valuable that card was and how easy people were getting value out of it. This is on the old Aspire, even the new one's good, but on the old one especially, it was absurdly easy to get really, really good value out of the card. So asking for a retention, they, you know, wouldn't often give retentions on that card, because why would they? The card obviously paid for itself. But on something like the platinum card, the gold card, where you have to juggle all these credits and go through all these hoops and stuff, they are more likely to give you good retention offers because those cards are harder to justify for most people compared to something like the hotel cards. So keep that in mind as well. If you're asking for a gold or a platinum, the expectation's a little higher than on the other cards. But again, as you said, it's all dependent on the person, depending on your spending profile, how profitable of a customer you are. And also, I'm sure they just do A/B testing where they just randomly throw some at people. So even if you think you would have fit the profile of someone that should have gotten one, you may not get one. So it's all dependent.
Yes, I would say generally there are some cards that sort of have a built-in retention offer. For example, like the Venture X, each year you renew, they automatically give you 10,000 anniversary points. And I kind of view that as like a built-in retention offer, because once you add that with the $300 travel credit, it like balances out the annual fee completely. So with that card, like I feel like there's less of an expectation to get a retention offer versus something like the Platinum card where the credits are really crazy and all over the place. We had a whole episode about it because it was that complicated. I also view like hotel cards that are like $95 and give you a certificate each year, unlikely to give you a retention offer because the certificate really easily pays for itself. So, you know, I think Sean brings up a good point. Understand the nature of the card you're asking for.
Yeah, even as well with the issuers. like Amex is the one by far that does the most retention offers. The other issuers don't really do it nearly as much as Amex.
Yes. One thing to keep in mind is that after accepting an offer, make sure you understand the terms of the offer accepted. Amex often will say, wait, if you accept the offer, you are not allowed to downgrade or cancel the card for like a whole year. So do not downgrade or cancel prematurely. Otherwise, Amex will consider this abuse, might possibly shut down your account or claw back the points, and this is really bad for you. And you have to be careful. Sometimes that like 12-month clock, since when you accept the retention, goes past the renewal date for the following year's annual fee, especially if you ask for retention offer already after the annual fee has posted. So keep those dates in mind. They might not be as intuitive as it might seem. So you don't want to get in trouble for prematurely downgrading or canceling the card because you misapprehended the 12-month clock, which is from the date you accept the offer, not the date from your anniversary.
Yes, and also remember for the issuers, it's a little weird on how the rules are for like annual fee refunds for canceling a card. So correct me, Sherwin, if I'm wrong here, but so for Amex, they will refund the annual fee if you cancel within 30 days of the annual fee posting. If you cancel beyond that, there is no refund or prorating of the annual fee. However, if you downgrade or, for example, upgrade the card after the annual fee post, they will prorate the fee depending on your card anniversary. So, for example, let's say I upgrade a green card into a platinum 1 month before my green card was set to renew. I will pay a very, very, very small fee for that platinum, only equivalent of 1 month. And then I will subsequently be refunded that fee of the green card for that 1 month that I didn't have the green card. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind as well. But if you can't, so like, is very weird because like if I, at 31 days, if I cancel my platinum card, I lost that whole annual fee. But if I just downgrade it to a green, they give me a bunch of money back and I still get to keep the green card. So keep that in mind. And then certain states as well, like have laws where if you like downgrade or cancel, they have to prorate the annual fee. That gets a little complicated. But Sherwin, am I missing anything there? I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I think those are really good points. I'd also say if sometimes cards will have like credits that are like calendar year based. So or even like anniversary based, right? Try to extract all the value out of the credits before you like go in and try to cancel a card. Just because you can do that. Like there's no, like if you have, let's say like your anniversary is coming up and you still haven't used your flight credit or your resort credit or whatever, like, why not use it all and then downgrade or cancel? So keep an eye out on those, even if you don't intend to keep that card no matter what. Like try to use everything up before you close it.
Yeah, because that's totally allowed. Like if you have a platinum, that annual fee, let's say, posts on December 20th, you have to decide by January 20th. If on January 1st you spend your $200 FHR and your I guess your FHR might be invalidated when you cancel the platinum, but your $200 airline incidental, that's allowed as long as it posts and everything before you cancel or downgrade the card. That's good. So you can kind of you're grabbing all the stuff in before you cancel that card, and it's a really nice way to get some extra value.
Should always double dip if you can. Okay, so what happens if you don't receive a retention offer? First thing is you can always try to hang up and call again or try to chat on another day. Sometimes waiting a bit can help. Sometimes they don't want to give it to you directly, but if you wait and persistent enough, they'll give it to you. But it just depends on the algorithm. Again, it's dependent on the algorithm, not the particular representative. Now, let's say you've tried and really done everything you can, exhausted all your options, and there is no retention offer for you, and you have a card that has a significant annual fee. What do you do at that point? So at that point, you need to decide if the annual fee can be justified by the recurring benefits. And everyone values different benefits and credits differently, and it also depends on your own spending habits. So it just depends. Hard to say hard and fast rule on that. But really, there should be no point in paying an annual fee if you're not getting at least that annual fee's value out of the benefits. Okay, so keep in mind. Also, keep in mind that when you're renewing card, you're no longer getting a new sign-up bonus. So unlike the first year where almost always is justifiable for the bonus, that's not part of the second year calculus. You have to really look at the recurring benefits. Now, let's say you've done all of that math and you've decided that you will not be keeping this card because you can no longer justify the annual fee. It's fine. So what can you do at this point? Obviously, one option is to cancel, but I would argue that if you can downgrade the card by product changing to a no annual fee option, and they will let you do that and refund your annual fee, that generally is preferable to canceling the card outright because of how credit scores work in the US. One factor of the credit score is the average age of accounts. So if you cancel a card, your average age of accounts decreases and your credit score may slightly decrease. Now, if you have a long credit profile, it's probably not going to be a significant change, so you may or may not care. But for newer credit profiles, it tends to have a bigger impact. So I would say usually downgrading to a no annual fee option is preferable to canceling outright. One particular card I want to highlight as a good option, when people have the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve and want to downgrade, usually what I recommend is downgrading not to the Freedom Unlimited or to the Freedom Flex, but to the legacy Chase Freedom that is no longer available to new applicants, but is available to via product change. It has the 5X categories and is a Visa, but just doesn't have the 3X dining or whatever. But it's still useful to have multiple of these freedoms, which you can get by continually product changing because you get more $1,500 per quarter to spend on the 5X categories. And also, because it's neither the Freedom Unlimited or Freedom Flex that are actual products out there, you're not precluded from getting a Freedom Unlimited or Freedom Flex bonus because the Legacy Freedom is a different product. So that's the one I usually recommend. Sean, does that make sense? Are there
No,
any
I think
ones
that's all
come to mind?
excellent points. Especially you're not pissing off the bank that you have a relationship with. So when you downgrade a card, they don't really get it doesn't hurt the relationship in the same way as canceling a card. Because when you cancel a card, they're like, great, this guy got the card, got the sign-up bonus, and just got rid of the card. But when you downgrade it, not only are you keeping that account open on your credit profile, but you're keeping that account open within that bank. And so they didn't lose the customer that they just gave the sign-up bonus to. So it could presumably help your relationship in the future with that bank if you want to get more cards or something of that sort.
Yes, I would also add, think about the downgrade paths early on, like when you're deciding what card to get, right? Let's say you do want a Freedom Unlimited eventually, right? The optimal move is not to open the Freedom Unlimited with a 20,000 point sign-up bonus. The optimal move is to open Sapphire Preferred for 60,000 point bonus, even if you have no intention at all of keeping it long-term, and simply downgrading that card to the no annual fee Freedom the second year. That can be part of your calculus at the very beginning. And there's no shame in doing so. Oftentimes, the bonuses for an annual fee card are so much higher than the no annual fee cards that even if you have no intention of actually paying the annual fee recurringly, just getting it for that first year and then downgrading is a sound option.
Yeah, I find it really funny when everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can't get that Sapphire Preferred. It's got a $95 annual fee. Oh my god!" But then if they're spending easily enough to reach the bonus, and then you could have just taken, even if you cashed those points out to pay the fee, you would have made more than double the value of the sign-up bonus than a Freedom or Freedom Unlimited, and then you would have had the card where you could have transferred the points out for a year. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to consider that.
Also, think about how much normal spending you would need to make up for the difference in the points for that bonus. It's usually somewhere in the tens of thousands of dollars if you actually do the math. So don't be irrational about it. That's all I'm saying. But there is one big exception to downgrading or product changing cards that you all should be very much aware of. So Sean, what is that?
So for Amex, so Amex has effectively a once in a quote unquote lifetime rule. So if you have an Amex product, you cannot receive the sign-up bonus on that product for the rest of your lifetime. I say lifetime in quotes because it's actually around 7 years, but it depends. So for example, I have a platinum, I downgrade it to a gold. Okay, I know that there's new rules on this as well, but just go with me for the example. You have a platinum, you downgrade it to a gold, then I apply for the gold, not eligible for the gold bonus because I've had the gold. Now, Amex has also added rules where if you have a card, they have these family rules. So if I have the platinum card, I'm now no longer eligible for the gold card sign-up bonus. But even, before that, this was still an issue because what you need to know is that if you have had the product of the card, okay, if you've had the like specific product you're trying to get the bonus on previously at any point, you cannot get the sign up bonus on that product. So that is something very, 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 very important to understand, because if you like upgrade into that product or, you know, downgrade into that product, even if there's not a family rule yet, you are now ineligible for that sign up offer. So it would have made way more sense to just apply for that card first, get that offer, or at least get that offer registered on the account, and then upgrade or downgrade as you need into that card.
Yes, that is a very good point. Keep in mind, always be wary of the sign-up bonus restrictions, and don't box yourself into a corner because you accidentally upgraded or downgraded unstrategically. Okay, so I think we have a little time left. How would you like to do a practice mock retention offer?
Let's redo it. Do you want to be the rep, or should I be the rep?
Sure, I'll start. I'll be the rep, and then you can call me up. Tell me whatever.
Okay, I'm calling you. This is for my Amex Platinum.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you know, I hit the annual fee on my Amex Platinum card, and to be honest, with all these changes and all these credits, it's getting really, really tough to justify. You got the monthly credit for like Uber. You got the semi-annual Saks credit. You got the Equinox credit. Honestly, it's becoming like, I understand there's a lot of credits, but I'm just having a tough time justifying the value for this annual fee. Would it be possible to check if there's a retention offer available on my account? Because I have been considering canceling the card, and if there was a retention offer, it would really help me keep it open.
I understand. I'm reviewing your account right now. It looks like you've been able to extract $1,400 of value from credits this past year, including using the airline credit, which you've maxed out, the Saks credit, which you used, and all of these other credits adds up to way more than annual fee. In light of that information, don't you think that it makes sense for you to keep this card since you are able to get value out of it?
I do understand how on paper it may look that I'm extracting all this value. I think for me, one is that for these credits, the mental headache of keeping track of them all has been, you know, almost not worth the value I've been getting. And then two, for a lot of these, I've had to force myself to spend additional money just to justify using them. So on the Equinox credit, I signed up for an Equinox membership, which I now really don't like. And so I have to get rid of that. And the Saks credit, they now started charging shipping. So I had to pay an extra $15 for that. And for the Uber credit, they have all the fees and I always pay more. So I understand on paper it might look like that. But to me, I've been feeling that I'm just forcing myself to spend extra money, and that the credits really haven't actually been worth it to me in that sense.
I understand. So as a valued customer of American Express, we'd really hate for you to cancel this card, because we understand our relationship is important. So I would like to offer you 5,000 points for spending $15,000 in the next 1 month. How does this offer sound to you? Would that help convince you to keep this card?
Well, in spite of that being the most generous offer I think I've ever heard, would it be possible to check if there are any other additional offers on my account? Because that's a bit high in the spending requirement and a bit low in the points requirement. So would it be possible to see if there are any other offers available?
Yes, allow me to check. So I do see that I'm also able to offer you a choice of either $350 in statement credit or 30,000 points for spending $3,000 in the next 3 months. And the statement credit has no spending requirement, but the points one has. Do any of these interest you?
Yeah, these interest me. You know what? I've been, since I have some upcoming spending that I need to do anyways, let's go with the 30,000 points offer. That would be able to help me justify keeping the card open.
Great. I will add this offer to your account, but please keep in mind that by accepting this offer, you must hold this card open for the next 12 months, and it will be considered abuse if you downgrade or cancel this card. Does that in those 12 months? Does that sound good to you?
That sounds wonderful to me.
Okay, great. So I think that was a more complicated example than what you usually might experience. But just be aware that you have to push back like Sean did. Sometimes it can help to ask for multiple offers, and that's kind of what we were trying to illustrate here. So Sean, is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up for today?
I think that's pretty much it. Just remember with these retention offers, it's always situational. Don't expect it. Don't get cards expecting that retention offers are going to come in, because a lot of times they don't. It's kind of like a luck-based thing to some degree. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you want to connect with an elite group of award travelers 100% for free, check out the totally free Travel Lane Discord group at the link in the description, where we drop deal alerts, award dumps, everything that's super interesting.
Yes. And if any of the cards we talked about today, or any card for that matter, interests you, please consider applying using one of our links below. It greatly helps us out. And also, if you enjoyed our episode, please like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We'll see you next week. Thank you.